Hi everybody. Have you ever wondered how is a neutrophil removed after the process of acute inflammation? How are the constant number of cells maintained in oral epithelium and in the intestinal tract? And how does the process of tooth shedding occurs? The process of all these occurs is yes, we need to know about first what is apoptosis. So it is all these are maintained through apoptosis. What is apoptosis? To explain apoptosis, we can tell it as a process of or a type of programmed cell death. So what is programmed cell death? Programmed cell death can be told as an active cellular process. So what does that mean? Active cellular process. This active cellular process ultimately culminates in death of the cell. The programmed cell death can occur in response to three things. The first thing is it can occur as a response to developmental causes, or it can occur in response to environmental causes, or it can occur as a response to the physiological changes that detected by the internal surveillance network of the cell. So as a result of physiology, as a response to physiologic changes. Okay. The term apoptosis was coined in the year 1972 by three people. They are John Kerr, Andrew Wiley, and A.R. Curie. These three people of the University of Alberdum, Scotland, coined the term apoptosis. So, in Greek, apoptosis means what? It means shedding of petals from flowers, or it means shedding of leaves from trees. Now, let us move on to the mechanisms of apoptosis. There are two mechanisms of apoptosis. They are the intrinsic mechanism and the extrinsic mechanism. The intrinsic mechanism is the mitochondrial pathway of apoptosis, and the extrinsic mechanism is the death receptor pathway of apoptosis. Now, what is the ultimate aim of these two mechanisms? It is to activate the enzymes called caspases. So moving on to what caspases are. Caspases are the cysteine proteases, group of cysteine proteases. So they are present as inactive proenzyme form. So upon proteolytic cleavage, these are later activated. What are the types of caspases? There are three types of caspases. The first type is the initiator caspases. The next one is the executioner caspases. And the third type are the inflammatory caspases. So what are the initiator caspases? The initiator caspases are the one which initiate the apoptotic signals. So it is caspase 2, 8, 9 and 10. What are the executioner caspases? They carry out the mass proteolysis that leads to apoptosis. So these are the caspases 3, 6 and 7. What are the inflammatory caspases? These caspases are not involved in the process of apoptosis, but they are involved in inflammatory cytokine signals pathway, and they are the caspases 1, 4, 5, 11 and caspase 12. Now, first let us see about the intrinsic pathway of apoptosis, which is otherwise called as the mitochondrial pathway. So, what are the stimuli for the intrinsic pathway? The first stimuli is the irreparable genetic damage, or if there is going to be any lack of oxygen, that is in case of hypoxia, any viral infections, or in case of any severe oxidative stresses, okay, that is increased amount of free radical if it is released, and there is when there is extremely high accumulation of the cytosolic calcium. So all these are going to result in the activation of the intrinsic pathway of apoptosis. So these stimuli are going to activate some sensors in the cells which are called as the BH3 sensors, or they belong to the family of BH3 proteins. These protein in turn will do two things. They will activate the pro-apoptotic proteins such as the BAX and the BAK, and they will inactivate the anti-apoptotic protein. So the anti-apoptotic proteins are the BCL2 and the BCLX1. So these are some of the examples. Yes. Moving on to the mitochondria. Mitochondria contains certain proteins such as the cytochrome C. Okay, and the permeability, it is the permeability of the mitochondria which is going to determine whether the cell is going to go into the intrinsic pathway of apoptosis or not, because when the mitochondrial membrane becomes leaky, it is going to release all these proteins such as the cytochrome C. Now, the sensors upon activation by the stimuli are going to do two things. It is going to activate the pro-apoptotic proteins and inactivate the anti-apoptotic proteins, and in turn it is going to increase the permeability of the mitochondria, which in turn is going to release the cytochrome C. This cytochrome C, along with some of the cofactors, will activate the initiator caspase. It is the procaspase 9. So in case of the intrinsic pathway, the initiator caspase is the procaspase 9. This procaspase, upon further through a cascade of events, is going to activate the executioner caspases, which are finally going to result in the fragmentation of the nucleus. So the nuclei will undergo fragmentation, and other changes of the apoptosis are going to occur, which is finally going to result in the programmed cell death, that is apoptosis. Let us see about the extrinsic pathway, otherwise the death receptor pathway. Some of the stimuli for this death receptor pathway are the increased temperature, viral infection, certain chemicals such as the chemotherapeutic agents, and ionizing radiations. Many cells possess certain receptors in their plasma membrane called as the death receptors. Okay, most of the death receptor belong to the family of tumor necrosis factor receptor family. Okay, some receptors of this family are tumor necrosis factor R1, CD95 FAS, death receptor 3, tumor necrosis factor related apoptosis inducing ligand receptor 1 or death receptor 4, trail R2 or death receptor 5. Okay, so what happens? These receptors, they are transmembrane receptors. Okay, and they are actually present as a pre-assembled trimer. So they have a cytoplasmic domain which is called as the death domain. So when a tumor necrosis factor that is going to bind with the receptor, there is going to be conformational changes occurring in the receptor. Okay, death domain part of the receptor, and this in turn will recruit so many proteins. Among the proteins which are recruited, the important one is the procaspase 8. This, upon proteolytic cleavage, becomes the active form caspase 8. Okay, this caspase 8 is an initiator caspase for the extrinsic pathway. Okay, and downstream through a cascade of events, the other executioner caspases are activated, ultimately results in the apoptosis of the cell. So to remember, the caspase, initiator caspase in the extrinsic pathway is the caspase 8, whereas the initiator caspase in the intrinsic pathway is the caspase 9. After we have seen the two pathways which has left to the apoptosis. Now let's see what are the changes that a cell undergoes during apoptosis. The entire apoptotic process happens in approximately 1 hour. Okay. What happens is the cells will first separate from their adjacent cells. Okay, that is they lose contact with the neighboring cells. Then the cells will shrink. Okay, the cells will shrink. This is the cell which is undergoing apoptosis. Okay, then the cell shrinks and it starts to develop membrane blips. Okay, it starts to develop membrane blips. Then what are the other changes is there is nuclear fragmentation. Okay, nuclear fragmentation occurs and also the chromatin condensation occurs. Okay, cytoplasm will also break down and forms the membrane bound structures. So the apoptotic bodies can be described as membrane bound structures which are called as the apoptotic bodies. Okay, how are these apoptotic bodies removed? Yes, the apoptotic bodies will possess a chemical called as phosphatidylserine. Okay, phosphatidylserine. From where do they get this phosphatidylserine? They get this phosphatidylserine from the inner leaflet of the cell membrane. Okay, from the inner leaflet. So, the phosphatidylserine is brought to the surface by the phospholipid scramblase. Okay, by the scramblase enzyme. This is going to move it to the outer leaflet. Now, macrophages identify the cells that possess the phosphatidylserine and they engulf such apoptotic bodies and thus the bodies are removed. Now, the important point is no contents are spilled. The cellular contents are not spilled to the exterior. Therefore, no inflammation occurs. That is an important key point to differentiate between apoptosis and necrosis. In apoptosis, no inflammation will occur. It is all membrane bound. Whereas in necrosis, cellular content is spilled outside, which is going to involve inflammatory process. See some of the examples of apoptosis, physiological examples. During embryonic life, not all the neurons will reach the target site. Some of them are killed by the process of apoptosis. Similarly, the T lymphocytes, which has specific receptors and which are going to identify and kill the infected cells, the pathogens, they during embryonic development will possess certain receptors which bind to proteins present on the surface of normal cells. Just imagine if such T cells are not removed. Okay, it is going to be dangerous. So such T cells are also removed by the process of apoptosis. So these two are physiologic examples of apoptosis. The pathologic examples, when you see, the apoptosis is involved in certain diseases such as mainly the neurodegenerative diseases such as the Alzheimer's disease, the Huntington's disease, Parkinson's disease. Okay, thank you.